So we have two exercises that we do which seeks to distinguish between transformation versus change. The first transformation versus change exercise sees us creating a design with bags, shoes, whatever it is that we come up with creatively, and placing it at the center of the circle. Our workshops are done in a circular form, not in rows or in chairs, so that everybody is able to participate and feel a part of the group. And so we create a design and it's placed in the center, and we encourage participants. We ask volunteers to change the design. So different volunteers will come up, at least 3, and change the design as best as they see how. And then we invite the participants to transform the design. In the first few instances, generally, participants will come up and change the design again until we get to the place where they understand the process of transformation as replacing the entire design, taking that away and replacing it with something new and different. Hence the difference between transformation and change. Is like moving from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And the second exercise sees us giving each participant a cup that has in it some dirty water, basically. And we go around with a clean glass of water, and we give each participant, we add some more clean water to the already dirty water that they have in the cups, and we ask participants to compare this exercise to education and to what we do in terms of teaching, to what is done in terms of teaching. From that, we establish that what generally happens is that we try to pour new information, we try to educate and teach young people on top of all of the dirt and the misinformation that they've already had, as opposed to cleaning out all of that dirt and muck first and then adding pure information to it. And those really sum up the total of our 2 transformation versus change exercises. After that, we move into ASHE's 3 rules of empowerment. The first of which is, what I think about myself is of much greater importance than what others think about me. We generally spend a little time with this with the participants to get them to understand, because it's easy to rattle off what I think about myself is more important, but when we make it practical and relate it to what is going on now, we realize that sometimes it takes a little bit more internalization to really bring it to the fore. The second ASHE rule of empowerment is the work is in and upon the self. When I transform, then everything else around me transforms. So it's not when the educational system transforms, then things will be better, or when the government changes, then things will be better, or when my child changes or starts to do this, and things will be better. This moves us into the third rule of empowerment, which is, what I sow, I reap. As I do unto others, it is returned to me. And that one is basically self-explanatory.
You have to work. And the first thing is, do you know who you are? You have to change your mind about yourself. I love myself. I am a beautiful person.
It moves us into the integrity game, which is always a very exciting game with our participants. The left hand is used as what I believe, what are my principles and what I believe. And the right hand is used as what I actually do. And so, for example, if I believe in always being on time, dealing with the issue of punctuality, so I raise my hand if I believe in always being on time. And then I match my right hand now. Am I always on time? What do I actually do? And for some people, it's off. You know, there's a conflict there. Meaning I believe that I must always be on time, but I'm not always on time. So I'm out of integrity. If you're always on time, then there's a sync, right? If you're not always on time, and for some people it's, you know, it's weird, you know, designs and definitions. Some people have to put their hands behind their back because they're just so way out as it relates to time. And we do that for a number of issues. Punctuality, we do it for honesty, we do it for all the different, the strong principles, and we get people to understand and to realize that we send mixed messages to our students when we are not able to live from a place of integrity with our principles. This exercise is so very important because it takes us into creating and establishing the rules for the workshop itself. Integrity is important, and taking responsibility for your own actions is important. So as a group, we set the rules of being on time, the rules of 100% participation, the rules of what do we do with cell phones, the rules of completing all assignments, and we set them together, which is an integral part of working with young people. If you set the rules together and also set the consequences and benefits, because each rule has a consequence and or a benefit, you set those together so that when we get into operating in the sessions now and any rule is broken, then you know that we had agreed on the rules, and so we know what the consequences are, and we just play it out as it is that we had agreed on, or we know what the benefits are, and so we leave them out as we had agreed on. Which brings us to the agreements for the courses. The process of being a facilitator or trained as a facilitator with the ASHE EIC transformational model is not so that you can be transformed and keep it to yourself, but so that you can be transformed and then share this transformation with others. And so all of our courses come with a commitment to work with a set amount of people after you're through being trained, so that you can practice what it is that you have learned in the sessions.
ASHE has created 2 facilitator manuals, Preparing for the Vibes in the World of Sexuality and Parenting Vibes in the World of Sexuality. These manuals, with accompanying workbooks, provide skills for handling the world of sexuality.
I have been using this ASHE Facilitator's Manual unashamedly. I've been taking all sorts of quotations and examples from this book. I work with women at the Guyana Women's Leadership Institute and at the Institute of Distance and Continuing Education here in Guyana. And I find the work here in this book is very, very supportive. I teach a module called Understanding the Self at the Leadership Institute, as well as Gender and Development. And what I borrow from this book is the empowerment tools.
ASHE teaches commitment. Commitment to a philosophy. You may agree or may not agree, but it is very evident that ASHE has a philosophy, and all the members are very committed to it. So that it's like something that springs off, it rolls out, it catches you, it involves you.
I think that ASHE is great with edutainment, with empowerment, with everything that has to do with young people. I will join someday, so it has taught me about choices, safer sexual techniques. Even if you're not having sex, protect yourself. If you don't have sex, it's all good. ASHE is just great. I love you guys, I love your dedication, and keep on keeping on.
ASHE is transformation. ASHE is empowerment. ASHE is edutainment for social and interpersonal development. This final section looks at ASHE music videos, just one of the many ways that we've used over the years to stimulate interest and excitement and transformation in the youth.